Hello, my name is Terry Jones, and I am going to do a painting on aluminum board. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I have a piece of 4x6 aluminum board here by Alumina Comp. I get them from Jerry's Artorama. And what I want to do is I'm thinking of putting birch trees in, but the birch trees are going to be in the fall. So I'm going to put a couple colors together here, and I'm going to start by working on almost a background. What you're seeing me doing is I'm going to run a couple colors onto the tile I have. I'm going to use the tile as a palette. And then I'm going to take this little piece of paper, which is it's a piece of wax paper. I think Alexis Bonavita showed me how to do this, and kind of make a little bit that looks like some leaves here. Okay. And I want to end up with a little more orangey leaves coming through, so I'm going to add some orange here. I can just go into the same thing and just kind of bring some of this orange through. Let me try a little more. What color did I put? That's Valencia. Valencia is a great looking color. I'm going to end up with some sunshine yellow in that too. I can see I need a little more sunshine yellow. So let me just throw some more color in there. A lot of times I do this by sprinkling, and I still may end up sprinkling more. I find that the aluminum dries a little faster than the normal colors or normal like Yupo. So it's a little challenging. I want to put a little bit of almost a background here. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of some blue in between some of this here for my green. I'm just kind of I'm wanting to build a little bit of what feels like a sunny day background. And this is, I think, Glacier. This is one of the new colors I really like. I'm going to go right back into the green, I think. And here's more green. I'm going to take my little, and I'm going to add just a little more. Just letting it mingle together here. Pretty much. I want to take just a little bit of this blue and put just tiny bits of this in the more yellow I have here. Just kind of giving me a little bit of see-through sky a bit. So we'll see how this works out. This is my first time I'm ever doing this, so I'm going to keep on trying. So now I might just take my little piece and flip it around. I might want to put some more of the yellow color. So here's some sunshine yellow. And again, I might just do a little tiny bit of sunshine yellow in here. Well, it got a little big, but that's okay. Let me get this in. And now I want to transition into some, don't like that. Let's try this. This is just something I'm kind of doing it a little bit by feel. Not quite sure what I want it to feel like, but I want it to feel like a lot of color, a lot of different bold colors there. So I'm liking that, and I'm going to add some watermelon. I'm going to start, the picture I saw had some really beautiful colors coming down. And again, I don't want that blue to come through, or I don't want that green to come in, so I might just take a little bit of this and kind of come through here, get me some nice bright, more brighter colors in here. Maybe some yellow, more yellow in that. It's really a timing issue. You have to figure out what your timing is. A lot of times one of the things that I'll do is I'll do this, a little bit of this splish splash. So I might take a little bit of color here and I might splash it on and get more. Well, that's not working very well. Give me something to splash it against. This might be too small of a brush to do it with. Nope, it's too small of a brush. I would need a bigger brush. I'm going to probably post this on my my personal website. I'm planning on doing a more complicated painting for one of the classes, and this is just kind of playing with what the more complicated painting may end up being. We'll see. But okay, well, I'm liking parts of this. I also want to have some dark green in places. So let me get some of the, go back to a green section. I want to put some dark green down in the corners. And I may even put a little more of this darker green up here, just to give me a bit of a transition. I'm all about transitions. Let me see what happens with putting a little bit of the, I like the brighter botanical rather than the meadow. The meadow may have been a little too sedate there. But let me just bring some more of this botanical in. Curious, put a little bit of the, I also put it a little bit in the glacier and see what that kind of brings me. Okay, now I'm going to go for some brighter, and again, let me flip my piece over, and I want to go for some coral and maybe some more sunshine yellow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to put some coral in this foreground. Okay, and I want to put some more sunshine yellow in this. Coral's a bit light. I might want to try to get a little more depth of color. I'll try a little bit of crimson, but I think crimson's going to be too dark. Thinking red pepper. Red pepper. Right, there's red pepper. Might be a deeper. I want some more contrast here. More of a deep contrast in the reds and the yellows. Things will not show up as brightly. This is on the aluminum. And really, things do not show up as brightly on the aluminum because it's, you know, if you look at a grayscale, something white will have a much higher, a much lower on the grayscale. You're lucky to get a 3 with this, but that's okay. I'm just kind of enjoying my little putting somewhat of a background, and everything will probably end up being a little more I will have more splashes on it after I finish putting my trees in it. Okay, well, I'm going to call that good. I think that what I want to do is, one of the things that I frequently do is I lay a piece of something over it and kind of decide, what do I want my trees to look like? Where do I want them coming out? What looks like it would work for me? I'm needing to put more green down in these corners. Okay. And maybe just a little bit of green there. So I'm thinking I'm going to have some fine trees in the background and some pretty big trees in the foreground. I actually did have a picture up on my computer. So I'm really just going to show the very bottoms of the trees. And I'm going to pull some out here using this, this is a fantastic. So I've got a tree, I'm going to pull a fairly heavy one out right here. One of the things that I absolutely love about the aluminum is you can pretty much pull it right back up to the aluminum. Okay, and then this one's going to be probably my widest tree. Okay, that one's pretty big. Now, a little behind it, I'm going to pull out another thinner tree. And they don't have to be perfect. Just going to pull one out here. You can use different tools. A lot of times I used to use, I'm going to pull another big tree right out of here. I use Q-tips a lot. You can see I'm cleaning this off here. And here's another. Let's pull this through. I like that one. I'm going to pull two very thin trees out, and sometimes this is too thick. So one of the things that I've used before is one of these little, they're pens that are for watercolors. So this has a very small nib, and as I clean it up, I can just carefully pull this out again and bring it more to some more thin trees in there. And sometimes I use the Q-tip and I make it smaller. Now whenever I use a Q-tip, the first thing you have to do is make sure that almost all of the alcohol is out of it. And here I'm going to put one right here. Let's see how this goes. Okay, and then I might put another one over here. And maybe another one over here. Maybe a little off the page. And how is this looking so far? I think I need a little, I want it to be more yellow in this area here, but I can fix that before I finish everything, I think. So if I've decided that I want more yellow in this area, I can always go back and give it a little more oomph with a little bit of, this is sunshine yellow. So I'm just going to tap a little bit of sunshine yellow in here, because I think I may even take a little bit of sunshine yellow here and work on just making this whole thing a little more. I've decided that isn't really, I wanted it lighter back there. So So the beauty with alcohol inks is you can just keep on doing stuff like this, and then I can take this right back off. So here I've got this. I want to just take that right back off because I'm going to I want my tree there. There it is. This tree here, I can just bring right back up. This tree here, right back up. Okay. So I'm pretty much liking that. I want to have a little more almost foliage around the front. I'm going to end up with some lighter, more interesting shapes around the front. So I may end up using one of my tools here to give me more exciting color. I don't know whether it's going to work, but again, I want some more light. So here I am, and I think that this one I want to have a little. I don't want them all at the same height, and I want to look like there's lots more happening here. Pull this forward a little bit. We'll see how that. Now I'm going to let that settle out. I got a little too much alcohol in that, which was I had a little bit too much of the yellow. And so here I go again. I can always redo, fix, pull out, put in. There's a lot that alcohol inks allow you to kind of do just to make them all look, to get the look you're trying to find. I mean, I'm going to want this, I want this to come forward just a little bit here, and this to be kind of your background. So here I go. So now there's still a bit of unhappy with that, but I'll go back to it in a second. I'm going to gotta let it dry. I'm not letting it dry enough in between. So I'm going to let it dry just a little bit in between, and now I'm going to go back and give it a little more oomph. Now, so I also want to have some splashy things happening here. So I'm going to want to have a little more of what looks like splashes. What will happen with the aluminum is after I finish doing my background, when I splash this little bit of yellow on it, if I let it become, rather than being too fast, it'll actually work with the shine happening through it. It'll kind of shine. And here I'm just going to put a little bit more of, I want some more darks in here. So here I've got a little bit of the botanical, but I'm also want to splash just a little bit of the green in the foreground. Maybe, and I want to splash more of the yellow up in the top, as if there might be a few branches crossing these trees. I kind of like that. I need a little more dark here at the very bottom. I'll take some of this blue here and see what happens if I just add some blue in interesting places in my bottom here. And I want to differentiate between this level. I don't know. I'm kind of liking that. so now what I would need to do is kind of finish the painting. I like the sense of light, and I like the glow in it. I think it's quite beautiful. But now I've got to finish the birch trees, and I'm going to use a black Sharpie for that. That seems to work really well for me. And after I finish the birch trees a little, I may put more branches in. Whoops! I'm sorry. That's not good. Can you see that? Okay, sorry. That was a little disastrous. But anyway, so here I am with a black Sharpie. And I'm going to come up, making sure my black Sharpie works, I'm going to come up the side of this birch tree with some black. I think I need to get another black Sharpie. This one seems to be ever so slightly not working. We'll see if I can get this. So I kind of make a, no, not enough black. I think I need to find another one. Let me see what I have. I usually have 15 million black Sharpies, and today, of course, I don't have one. Well, I'll just try to continue on this. Okay. There we go. It's working now. I just needed to get it working a little bit. So here, I'm making some birch kind of shapes. I don't go all the way up those sides. I pull it up. Now here's another one that I'll do. Now this one's a little farther back, so it doesn't have to be quite as dark and dramatic. I might skip some where I have a little bit of the, as you can see, the kind of, okay, and this one again, this one's very far, is much farther back, so give me some, and then there might be just a little bit of something here. Again, this doesn't, you know, if you do it really slow like this, it just doesn't look right. So I tend to go back up and down, and literally the best example that I can have is scribble. If you scribble a lot and come back and forth, remembering there is a curve to it, so you might want to put some curvy pieces in, but don't really worry about getting anything perfect. It always looks better if you just scribble and don't take yourself too seriously here. I kind of like that these, the ones that are farther back aren't as clear. It'll put them back farther, I think. And then here I go. I like this one. Okay, so now suddenly my birch trees have popped out. I might want to bring this one all the way up to the top. And I can actually take and make more branches that are kind of coming off and going across, so that I can have this kind of black filigree of branches up here. Okay, and I think I'll work a little more on this one. Needs some more contrast, I think, down here. But some of, you know, the more contrast you have, the more they're going to come forward. So the ones that are really close to you maybe need more contrast. And you're going to have branches and stuff going everywhere. So like this one, I might have a big branch going out, and then I might bring some little branches off of these and cross over and just have fun with a kind of a little black canopy here. Okay, I'm liking that. Here I also probably have some, whatever it is in this bush is going to have something grounding it. So here I am grounding a bit of the bush, and then maybe even scribbling a little just to show that there's not a lot of, there's a lot of action here. Okay, and next I want to get, you know, my final whatever. Now, if I touch too much of the black, it'll start smearing. So it's not that easy to sprinkle color unless you do it really finely. So here I'm just going to very lightly put a little bit more of the yellow in. I want the yellow to, and then here at the bottom maybe very lightly a little more of the yellow. I'm liking that. I don't know. I don't really see. I'd like to get the red to be more assertive right in this very, you know, more contrast right in this very front. But I'm not sure how to do that. I might just do a little bit of. Sometimes I'll end up doing something like the markers, just because I want just a little teeny bit of really, really intense red. Now, and one of the issues that you have here is because you don't have the traditional white behind it, your red just doesn't seem to look quite as intense. I'm going to pull what looks like hopefully a little bit of sky through here. See if I can get a little more contrasty in places. And I like that also down here, just to try to get myself some more depth. And I may end up going on this side and just putting a little tiny bit. This I'm just putting a little almost dark line on the very big, a little bit of a shadow on the big ones. So here I go with a little bit of shadow. Okay. Well, I'm liking that. Maybe a tiny bit. Let me straighten this up with putting some white in there, or some blue in there. And I might want to pull a little bit more of this off. That has gotten a little bit too blue, too mushy over there. So I'm going to fix that by making this more distinct right here. And then I'm going to take my black magic marker and come in here and give myself a little more playroom here. So I think that's it. I'm pretty happy with it. I'll put it in a little black frame and it should really pop. Thank you very much. Bye. Is it done? I think it's done.